Hey guys, so I've got a ramble for you. Thanks for giving me name suggestions for my hypothetical, maybe future practice. I appreciated all of them, even the ones that weren't good. But, it's good to have other minds to bounce things off of, and I'm lucky to have you guys. So, here's another conundrum you guys can help me out with. It's a thinker, right? Basically, some backstory for those of you who haven't caught up to what I do in real life. I've been working in behavioral health for about 6 years now, and I'm about to finish my master's, and I'm headed off to better jobs, right? Most of that 6 years, I've been dropping little nuggets and gems of my experience onto YouTube in these Ramble videos, and people generally like those videos better than anything else I put out as far as a ratio of likes, but they never really take off. I'm just talking to my core audience here, but that's okay. I'm using this like social media, not to try to be a rock star or anything. So, the conundrum that I'm in now is the advice that I would get from many people in the behavioral health fields is that prior to going out into private practice, you should get a lot of experience in community mental health or nonprofit agencies or, hospitals and whatnot. And then once you have enough experience, and I don't even know what's going to tell you whether you have enough experience or not, but once you have enough experience, you embark on your journey into private practice. And then you can charge more money for your valuable clinical hour. You know, that's the advice that I would get from many, many people is cut your teeth in private in the community health arena. See all of the hardest clients there are, and then when you get to being in a private practice, if you ever come across a problem, you'll have a lot of experience to draw from, and you'll be able to handle the situation a lot better. You won't be freaked out, right? Now, I'm not saying I agree with this perspective. I'm saying I understand it, right? I can see where they're coming from. Here's the issue. If everyone followed that advice, and before they went out in private practice, they spent their first years in the clinical mental health jobs that were community health, where it's the poorest clients, the most disturbed in the head clients, the hardest to reach clients, the hardest to de-escalate clients, the most violent clients, the ones with the most substance use, the homeless clients. If we send everyone there for their first few years, then those are the clients that are going to get the least amount of experience in the clinicians that see them, even though they are the clients that need the care the most. So you've got somebody with like a serious mental illness that's, driven them to poverty and homelessness and substance use and whatever else. They're on the streets, and we're going to send someone straight out of college to go take care of them. But the rich people, they get to enjoy the more experienced clinicians with their hashtag first world problems. There's a disconnect in equity there as far as, the hardest problems should get more experienced clinicians, unless we're assuming that the inexperienced clinicians always have some supervisor who is stuck around in community mental health and never decided to upgrade his pay, and he's decided that he's going to be a martyr and, always work for, barely enough to live on, basically the same pay rate that the manager at McDonald's is making right now is what you would get as a clinician in community mental health these days. Not very good pay. Not enough to buy a house ever in his life, And this guy's stuck around that long to be able to help new clinicians with those troublesome cases. Just doesn't seem like a likely scenario. But then how do you have people go into private practice first, earn top dollar for their clinical hour, deal with first world problems with much easier clients, and then attract them back to community mental health, where they're not going to get paid that, and they're going to be dealing with a much harder caseload, even. Like, we're talking that better pay is for doing less work in the week, less hours of work. But you go into community mental health, and to earn that salary, that paltry salary that they're going to offer you, they're going to expect you to work a 40-hour work week, but it turns into 50 or 60 for less pay and more trouble with the clients during those hours that you are working. Just, it doesn't make sense, and all of this that I am saying is a hashtag first world problem, because I'm speaking from the perspective of an American behavioral health worker. Every other civilized country has a different system where there's a lot more equity in the services people get versus what they need. Lots of universal health care, single payer, provider systems out there that would probably foster their young, inexperienced clinicians in a way that didn't cause as much burnout, and also spread the wealth of knowledge around. And working within the American system, I just don't know how to fix this issue, this conundrum that I'm seeing. That the best clinicians are probably going to steer clear of community mental health because they know what they're worth, and even if they felt like there was some social justice component compelling them to work with those who were in need of their service the most, they'd have to recognize that the environment that they're working in is actively killing them by shaving years off the end of their lives, by working them to the bone, overworking them to the bone, not paying them near what they're worth, which causes problems in their own life with their own self-care, and working in jobs that, like I did for years, where the odd hours were just deadly. I was working 12-hour shifts overnight, and because, you know, there is no hour of the night that the crazy stops in community mental health. You know, in private practice, you can see your clients all in the sunlight, you know, in regular business hours, but in community mental health, in residential treatment centers, in lots of other places, in emergency rooms, it's round the clock. And it really destroys your health, you know. How do you get people, once they've tasted private practice, back into working those harder jobs? It's an impossible puzzle. I'd like to hear some other ideas on how we can fix this.